So, hey everybody, I'm sitting here today on our lake home in Gilbert, Arizona.
Beautiful, Gilbert.
My name is Donna, as in Belladonna, and this is my husband Jeff of how many weeks, baby?
It will be 49 weeks tomorrow.
I love that he knows that. And what makes this interview so exciting for me is because people have watched our journey, and I thought I would take a minute to actually interview him and sort of wrap it up into a tight little bow, if we can do that in a few minutes, for anybody who thinks that love is not there for them today, who has lost hope in finding a special someone. And some of you know that I was a widow 3.5 years ago, and Jeff and I met 1 year and 8 months after my late husband passed away. I was not expecting to find love again. I went as so much told him that. I said, look, you're looking for marriage, I'm not, and here we are. How many weeks?
47 and a half. 3/4.
So Jeff, why don't you tell the people listening today what it is? How did we meet, first of all? Why don't you share that?
Well, to go back a little bit before, I had a friend of mine come up and told me, he said, you need a woman. I'm like, that's the last thing I need. Single dad, 3 kids. And he said, well, I got you signed up on this dating app. And I said, well, you just wasted your money. And it was the 4th of July, 2018. I went online, and there was a friend of mine had sent me an email, and I went to click that email, and I accidentally clicked the dating link that was right below it, and 9 pictures came up. And there was 3 pictures, 3 rows of 3 pictures, and the last picture in the second row was this beautiful, beautiful woman. And I remember seeing it and thinking, well, maybe I could see what she's about.
So, touches my heart every single time he tells that story. So what was it that, I mean, here you go, 20 years, you're dating off and on, but you're not looking for anything serious.
No.
In spite of what the bio that your friend set up for you said. But all of a sudden, there was a connection of some sort. Neither one of us could deny that right out of the gate. Like, as soon as he looked at that bio. So what was it that resonated? Because what I'm trying to show people is that we don't always know right away. This is not the Cinderella syndrome. I mean, we happen to have gone through a little bit of that, but that's not always how it works, and it's okay.
No.
Right? So what was it? What was the connection that you, obviously, I guess you liked, what, my red hair?
Well, I liked everything. Of course, I thought you were a strikingly beautiful woman, which you are.
Thank you.
But then when I read your bio, there was a lot of things in there that it just touched my heart. And so I wanted to respond. And she had said she's a writer. So I thought to myself, words have meaning to her. So I'm typing out a response. And I must have modified it 7 or 8 times. Kept going back. I would read it and like, oh, she won't like that. So I put thought into it. And I tried to address everything that was in your bio. And so then I hit send, and then my son and I went to have breakfast, and we came back to the house.
Okay, now hold on. So he hit send. Now I want to tell you, ladies, this man sent me a thesis. Now some women would not like that. My roommate at the time said, "Ooh, that's awful, too much." But I'm a writer. Words speak to me. He connected with me. And by the way, if you've never been on a dating app, you know, he had one chance to get it right. Because if I ignore him, there's no more, I mean, I can just keep ignoring him. He can't reach me. So he had one shot to get it right. He sends me a thesis. And as soon as I read it, and he addressed everything in my bio, it was as if Cupid shot me in the heart. And I did reply back, and mine was not a thesis. What happened after that?
Well, we got home. It was about 10:30, and I was excited. I wanted to get to my computer and see if she had answered. And so inside, I'm like, but outwardly, I'm trying to be cool, telling myself, I'm going to go check some things on my computer. And so I went, and she had responded. And so I responded back, and I think we probably went back and forth 5 or 6 times that day. And I sent her my last name. I sent her my phone number. I figured, well, she'll want to go on and do some more research and look and see if she wants to carry on the conversation. And then she sent me, no, you called me. I gave her my phone number, and then
Yeah.
you called me that night, and then we talked. She had laryngitis, and so I did most of the talking. Her voice was just about gone, and that was on a Wednesday, and we went out for the very first time on July the 7th. That was a Saturday. I told her, I asked her, well, what do you like to eat? Do you like Italian food, Chinese food, American? Do you want to do a Portuguese restaurant? Do you like steak? And she responded, well, it's been a long time since I've had a good steak. And I said, well, then we'll do steak.
Now, I will say, so even before Peter, I dated 3.5 years before I met my late husband. I dated a shorter time this time because I wasn't expecting Mr. Wonderful here to show up. But I never had anybody give me such a choice. And I just immediately started crying. You're like, well, is there some place you've never been before? You've always wanted to go. Is there some place?
Right.
Is there some place you've been that you've always wanted to go back to? And I am bawling.
Yeah, I asked her. I said, do you have a favorite restaurant you want to go to? Is there a restaurant you've always wanted to try and never have? Do you have a restaurant you've been there once or twice? You want to go back? Just let me know.
And I, of course, responded with, well, Mr. Jeff, that is very nice of you, but I don't think we're on the same page. So if you want to go to dinner, that's on you. I'm a non-monogamous. Now, I was very clear about dating multiple men. I had no intention of getting serious, and I made no apologies for this. My heart had just been broken. My heart was just healing, in a healing phase, and I respected that journey. And so did Jeff. You respected that. You have a background. You used to be a youth pastor. You had such amazing resources to draw on, as you reached out to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you speak to that?
Well, I knew that you'd had a loss, and I wanted to be sensitive towards that. I wanted to respect you, but I also wanted to respect him. And so, in my heart of hearts, I made up my mind. I've always tried to be a perfect gentleman, and it was not going to be any less with you, of course. And so I asked you, I said, well, do you want to meet at the restaurant? Do you want to meet like at a Fry's or someplace that's public and then go together from there? Do you want me to pick you up at your home? Tell me what you feel good about, how you feel safe, and then we'll go from there.
Ladies, you hear this? I was almost speechless. He is an alpha male. This is an alpha male who knows how to cry. I mean, this is every woman's dream, a combination of a man having the ability to take charge and be sensitive at the same time. And if you ask me, it was a darn good sales pitch because I couldn't figure out why I should say no. And so I let him know. I said, I will lift it to the restaurant, and if we like each other after dinner, which, by the way, I told him he didn't have to do, but he said, no, I think we're on more the same page than you think. So I said, if we enjoy dinner and we like each other, then I'll get in your car and we'll go for a cigar. And if not, I'll get back.
She did, and we did.
But if we didn't connect, I would get back in Lyft and come home. And was that okay with you? And it was a mutual, wonderful respect. Yeah. I think we both realized that.
Well, I wanted you to feel safe. I wanted you to feel secure, and I wanted you to feel confident.
And I did. And that date, which by the way went against my own rules, because I remember I'm an author who wrote a book on dating.
Who said you should never have a date your first date should never last more than 4 hours at the most.
I think I said 45 minutes, but I could be wrong. Anyway, that date lasted
6 hours.
6 hours. And, I was processing. I respected the fact that I was processing. I think you understood that as well. Had you ever dated a widow before?
No.
Did you have intention to date a widow?
No.
No, it was never in his mind.
No.
And I didn't know if I should call myself a widow. I said, well, I'm a widow, but I'm single now and I'm dating, so I guess I'm single. Like, I was a little confused about what to identify how to identify myself. It's, you know, people are always looking for some sort of label. But so what was it that brought you back?
Well, we had a connection. We had a connection right away, and I liked that connection. I loved your smile. I loved everything. I loved the sound of your voice. I loved our conversation. We had great conversation. That's what we really did. We talked all through dinner. We went to the cigar lounge and we talked for the rest of the night. Even when on the way home, driving home, we were just talking about life and how we saw things and how we felt about things. And you're a fascinating woman. I wanted to see you again.
Thank you. Now, I want to point out, and I know we're going a little bit long here. We're going to wind it up here. But I want to point out, ladies, that I was very honest with Jeff. And I must have told him probably 2 or 3 times in the course of a couple of, like, less than a week,
Or
that
4
I
or
was
5.
that I was a non-monogamous. I was not looking for a serious relationship. And how did you respond to that? I mean, I kept feeling like you weren't hearing me, but you just kept, you know.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. How did you respond to the fact that there's this woman that you're wanting to see again, you're clearly enamored with, he's jumping through a few hoops to get to me, and I'm over here saying, listen, you know, you're number 4 if you want to get online. I am not interested in a serious relationship. How did you feel about that, and what made you keep coming back?
Well, like I said, we had a connection right away, and in my mind, I thought, well, let's see where this goes. I'm going to leave it up to the Lord. It might turn into something fantastically great, which it did. It might turn into just a great friendship, which it did. Mm-hmm. This woman's not only the love of my life, she's my very best friend.
Thank you, baby. I love you so much.
And yes, she wasn't interested in marriage.
So, we're going to wind up right now. We just wanted to share a little bit of our journey as we met, the processing of sifting and sorting. It's no different than looking for a job or finding when you're going out for sales. You sift and sort and you figure out if you're on the same page. And we found out very quickly we were on the same page. And if you want to hear about more of my journey, you'll have to wait for the book. Because I am writing another one. But in the meanwhile, Jeff, do you have any last words you'd like to say to the audience?
Follow your heart. If it feels right, it is right. If it doesn't feel right, it's not. Don't try to force things. Don't try to make things happen. Allow them to happen naturally. And you'll find that as you do that, your life will be richer, more rewarding, in whatever direction that takes you.
Beautiful. I couldn't have said it better myself. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow. Or maybe we won't. I don't know. Probably will. Look for us.